we thin each tree either side of our target tree, each side of our prune tree. Since then we've come back again just recently and thinned it out again and brought it down to around 350 stems per hectare. The first thinning, which was done with chemical using poison axes, it took it down to around 800 stems. The thing about this is that the trees are growing very, very fast. They're growing very, very straight, and we also have an excellent crown lift. So by managing the trees in this way, we pretty much, I think, got as good a result as we could expect. Yes, Humphrey. They are Cloesiana, yes. So every tree that you can see now retained in the stand, except for maybe an odd double leader up high, is a very, very good tree and will make a pole product. Or at about age 18, we envisage we'll come through and take out half again at least, maybe more. 5, possibly 6 metre spacing. The reasons for that is ease of getting machinery in and around in them. It's reducing the amount of trees that we're planting, so it's reducing our establishment costs. It will reduce the amount of spray we have to put out. We'll get better grass growth, so we'll be able to have more cattle. The other thing is that with everything running up and down the hill, it's much safer to lie down. When we came into prune, because when we thinned, we also pruned at that time, so in the last 3 months, the boys only had to go around the edges. There was no point in even coming in here. So I'm really in favour of anyway, is planting only on ridge tops where you're going to get your most wind. This species, the Gympie messmate, and also the spotted gum, the Corymbia variegata citriodora, it is. Yeah, so this is a 9-year-old plantation which is stuffed. Alright, there's no point in us continuing to grow this for another 20 years. So we're now in the process. You can see down there, we've done 1 day of clearing it. We have marked, so what we did it was January, we came through with the poison axes. You'll see these cuts on the dead trees. Okay, so we just hit the axe, squirting some Roundup, and it kills the tree. So anything that was just totally useless, we killed. Then we have marked with the 2 tags trees that may have potential product. I know I marked this one, I think I was dreaming. But anyway, it's fairly straight, and when we take the bark off it, maybe we'll have some kind of a pole product. It's worth a go anyway, rather than just pushing the lot and killing it. And then you'll see occasionally, but they're pretty hard to see, a pink single tape. They are trees that we're going to retain. I really wonder whether that's a sensible idea, considering how prone they are to wind defect. By removing all the trees around them, they're going to be sticking out like dog's balls basically, and really have more chance of getting damaged.
Are you going to replant this?
We are replanting this along the ridge with Gympie messmate, and then lower down we're going to put in grey ironbark and a brush box. Because that is the good stuff. The other thing about high durability class species is if it doesn't work out, you've got on-farm product use, so fence posts, rails, all those sorts of things where you may not need such straight timber, or you can get away with cutting shorter lengths of timber in the round. So a lot of that white mahogany we are planning to sell as straighter posts to local farmers and things like that. So. All right, we'll keep going. As we come along here, there's another stand of on the left of tallow wood, and then we walk past a long line of Eucalyptus resinifera, red mahogany, which is a pretty good stand, nice high, fat trees, and pretty good form. And then I'll have a quick chat when we get to the grey gum.
Then I'm going to turn into fence posts. But yeah, that's sort of it. If you've got any questions for me and ask.
Were these mapped individually at the time you did your...
When we did this approval, which was under the very first scheme, we were allowed to push these trees.
Oh.
Yeah, great idea. And actually my father, to be honest, convinced me that we shouldn't. Because when you look at a map, you're human and you're male and you think I want to get as much area as I can. And in the end, I'm really glad we didn't. And we kept all the old paddock trees, I suppose.
So now
These were used for the shade for the cattle, really, for the cattle camps.
So what law act does this come under? It's the Plantations and Reforestation Act of 1999, right? Is that still the one that's...
Opportunities seem to come. You have to look at the regulations and the rules of the game and work out what works for us. So, you know, this project that we're working with, the Caring for Country project's really about trying to provide a little bit of training and
On the ridge top, they really don't like wind, so you can see just about every tree in this top section on the ridge has bark busted off. We have been cutting this for firewood. Everywhere where we've got that cambium damage, the bark's blowing off the cambium, we're finding rot in every piece of firewood. So these trees are doomed because we planted them A, on the wrong site, B, they suffered from wind, so that was poor site matching as well. And yeah, but as far as growth, pretty good growth rates. Like it really is a good thing. So if you have well-drained soils and plenty of rain, this is a top species to grow. Just don't put it on your ridge. If you want to, you can wander down, but you only have to just drop off the ridge and the bark damage, the wind damage goes. So what we're going to do in the next couple of months, if we get time, is to drop everything at the top here, replant it with empty mess. These out, or would you be looking at leaving them to grow on?
I'd just selectively just continue.
Take the ratty ones out. I'd grow them on when they're there. Why wait for all that time? Yeah. Okay.
They don't have to be perfect. Just remember that 2.4 is a saw log.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be clear. It can have veins and stuff in it.
Yeah.
Like that holds together.
All right, we'll not change our management strategy
Anyway,
on this particular stand. Our excellent prep from the first time would still be there, and the forest-like conditions that the poorly growing Pterodocornis or forest red gum had created would benefit, and we could just plant straight into the ground. I did one post-plant spray with the for weed control, and this is the result. So 5-year-old Gimpy messmate against 10-year-old forest red gum. They're already catching up, and they probably will overtake in time. I really love forest red gum. I think it's one of the most beautiful timbers that there is. It's such a beautiful red. But in terms of a plantation species, it just didn't seem to work. Other people have tried it as well, and it didn't seem to work for them. However, you know, somebody else might have another go and get some success. We don't know where the trees or what, you know, it could have been a lazy seed collector who picked it off some bent wobbly thing with lots of low branches. That was really easy to collect seed off. So I guess that's one of the issues too, that we've now moved to sourcing from very reliable sources our seed or getting it ourselves.